Welcome. You found your way to Sleepy Science by Vita, a quiet place where curiosity slows down and science unfolds gently, without hurry. Tonight we're exploring something that has been with you every moment of your life, even when you weren't aware of it. A silent companion beneath your thoughts, a steady presence beneath your attention, the subconscious mind. While the conscious mind moves through words, decisions, and plans, the subconscious works differently. It listens more than it speaks. It remembers without effort. It responds to patterns, comfort, and familiarity. And as the body begins to rest, this quieter part of the mind becomes more noticeable. Not by demanding attention, but by supporting the natural process of letting go. As you listen, there's nothing you need to understand or remember. These thoughts are not instructions. They're simply gentle observations offered slowly, so your mind can drift if it wants to. You're free to follow the ideas, or let them pass like distant sounds in the background. If these calm explorations help you relax, rest, or fall asleep, you're welcome to support the channel by subscribing or leaving a quiet comment. It helps this space grow naturally, reaching others who may be looking for the same sense of calm. But for now, there's no need to do anything at all. Just allow your breathing to soften. Let the day fade into the background. And as the night settles in, let's begin our quiet journey into the subconscious mind. The subconscious is not a place you visit. It is not a voice you hear. It is a continuous presence that has always been there, shaping your experience quietly, without interruption. Long before a thought forms into words, long before a feeling becomes clear, the subconscious has already responded. It works beneath awareness, maintaining balance without asking for recognition. It does not rush or pause. It does not argue or analyze. It simply continues, gently organizing impressions, sensations, and emotional tones as life unfolds. During waking hours, conscious attention often takes the lead. It focuses, decides, reacts, and plans. But the subconscious remains active alongside it, absorbing patterns in the background. It notices what feels familiar. It remembers what feels safe. It responds to repetition, rhythm, and subtle emotional signals. As evening approaches and stimulation fades, the relationship between these two layers of the mind begins to shift. Conscious effort naturally softens. Thoughts slow and lose their urgency. And in this quieter state, the subconscious becomes easier to sense, not because it has changed, but because there is less noise around it. The subconscious does not think in sentences or images the way the conscious mind does. It communicates through feeling, through atmosphere, through a sense of ease or tension. It recognizes when the body is settling. It responds when breathing slows. It adjusts gently as muscles release without instruction. This process does not require awareness or control. The subconscious is deeply familiar with rest. It has guided countless transitions from activity into stillness throughout your life. Each night, it responds to familiar cues: dimmer light, reduced movement, quieter surroundings. Over time, these cues become deeply embedded, allowing the subconscious to respond almost automatically. Automatic does not mean mechanical. The subconscious is flexible and adaptive. It adjusts to subtle changes in the body and environment, maintaining comfort without drawing attention. It knows how to ease the mind toward rest without effort or force. As the mind quiets, thoughts may appear and disappear without forming clear narratives. Memories may surface briefly and fade. Sensations may shift gently. None of this requires engagement. The subconscious does not demand interpretation. It allows experiences to pass without holding on to them. In this state, the need to monitor or manage the mind begins to dissolve. There is nothing to solve, nothing to achieve. The subconscious does not seek clarity. It seeks balance. It supports the mind by maintaining continuity while conscious attention loosens its grip. Entering the quiet mind is not an action. It is a gradual easing, a soft transition from doing into being. The subconscious continues its steady rhythm, whether awareness is focused or drifting. Its presence is constant, calm, and reassuring. As rest deepens, the subconscious remains active in the background, quietly supporting the body and mind as they move toward deeper relaxation. There is nothing you need to guide and nothing you need to follow. The process unfolds naturally, just as it always has. In this quiet space, awareness can soften without concern. Thoughts can fade without resistance. The subconscious remains, steady and silent, holding the rhythm of rest as the night continues. There is a gentle boundary within the mind, a line that separates what you are actively aware of from what quietly continues beneath that awareness. This line is not fixed or rigid. It shifts throughout the day, becoming more noticeable at certain moments and nearly invisible at others. As the body moves toward rest, this boundary begins to soften. The conscious mind is the part that notices thoughts, makes decisions, and follows plans. It is active, verbal, and often focused on the present moment or the near future. It works well when attention is required. It helps navigate conversations, solve problems, and respond to the world as it unfolds. During the day, it tends to stay close to the surface. The subconscious mind, by contrast, does not wait for attention. It continues its work regardless of where focus is placed. It does not rely on words or deliberate thought. Instead, it responds to patterns, emotions, and repetition. It notices tone more than content. It remembers feelings more readily than details. It holds impressions that never fully reach awareness. Most of the time, these two layers of the mind operate together without conflict. The conscious mind leads, while the subconscious supports quietly in the background. But as external demands fade and stimulation decreases, the conscious mind naturally loosens its grip. It becomes less concerned with control. In these moments, the influence of the subconscious becomes more apparent. This does not mean the subconscious suddenly becomes active. It has been active all along. What changes is the balance of attention. As conscious effort softens, the background processes of the subconscious are no longer overshadowed. The mind begins to feel less busy, not because activity has stopped, but because it has shifted into a quieter mode. The subconscious does not compete for attention. It does not interrupt or insist. It simply continues. It allows thoughts to drift without forming clear conclusions. It permits sensations to settle without explanation. This is why moments of rest can feel spacious, even when there is little happening. During these quieter states, thoughts may arise without clear origin. A memory may appear briefly, then fade. a feeling may pass through without attaching to a story. These experiences are not meant to be examined. They are signs of the subconscious working gently without needing to be directed. The line between conscious and subconscious awareness becomes especially subtle as the body relaxes. Breathing slows, muscles release. The mind no longer scans for tasks or outcomes. In this softened state, the subconscious takes on a stabilizing role, maintaining internal balance while awareness drifts. The subconscious does not think in linear sequences. It does not follow arguments or timelines. Instead, it works in layers, associations, and rhythms. It connects experiences through feeling rather than logic. This is why certain sounds, environments, or routines can feel calming without any clear reason. The subconscious recognizes familiarity and responds accordingly. As rest deepens, conscious thought becomes less dominant. It may still appear, but it carries less urgency. Thoughts lose their sharp edges. They become quieter, slower, and less demanding. This is not a loss of clarity, but a natural transition into a different mode of awareness. The subconscious supports this transition by holding together the mind's internal environment. It regulates emotional tone. It adjusts physiological rhythms. It allows the mind to rest without needing to resolve unfinished thoughts. It understands that rest does not require completion. There is no need to manage this process. The subconscious does not require permission or guidance. It has followed this rhythm countless times before. Each night, it responds to the same gentle signals: reduced light, stillness, slower breathing. Over time, these signals become deeply familiar. As the boundary between conscious and subconscious awareness softens, the mind may feel less defined. Attention may drift without direction. This drifting is not aimless. It is supported by underlying processes that keep the system balanced and calm. In this state, the effort to stay alert naturally fades. The subconscious does not push awareness away. It simply allows it to rest. Thoughts can come and go without consequence. Sensations can soften without interpretation. Nothing needs to be held in place. The line between awareness and the subconscious was never meant to be rigid. It is meant to move, to open and close gently, depending on the needs of the moment. During rest, it opens just enough to allow the mind to settle into a quieter, steadier rhythm. As this rhythm takes hold, the subconscious continues its quiet work, maintaining continuity while awareness drifts. There is no moment where control is lost. There is only a gradual easing into stillness, guided by processes that have always known how to carry the mind toward rest. The subconscious mind has a unique way of learning. It does not rely on focus, intention, or conscious repetition. It learns quietly through exposure, familiarity, and gentle consistency. While the conscious mind studies and analyzes, the subconscious absorbs. It notices what repeats, what feels familiar, and what carries emotional tone. This learning does not happen all at once. It unfolds slowly, often without being noticed. Small experiences accumulate over time, shaping internal responses without ever asking for attention. A sound heard many times becomes comforting. A routine repeated gently becomes automatic. An environment associated with calm begins to signal safety. The subconscious records these patterns without effort. Unlike conscious learning, which often feels deliberate and structured, subconscious learning is diffuse. It happens in the background while attention is elsewhere. This is why certain skills, habits, or reactions seem to develop on their own. The subconscious does not require instruction. It responds to repetition and consistency. Throughout the day, the subconscious is constantly gathering information. It notices tone of voice, facial expressions, posture, and rhythm. It senses emotional undercurrents and environmental cues. Much of this information never becomes conscious thought, yet it influences how the body and mind respond later. At night, when stimulation decreases, the effects of this quiet learning become more noticeable. Familiar sensations can trigger relaxation without explanation. A repeated bedtime routine can signal the body to slow down. The subconscious recognizes these cues and responds by easing tension and lowering alertness. This kind of learning is deeply connected to the body. The subconscious does not separate mind from physical sensation. It links experiences with breathing patterns, muscle tone, and heart rhythm. Over time, these associations become automatic. The body begins to respond before conscious awareness catches up. Because subconscious learning is gradual, it often feels effortless. There is no sense of progress or achievement. Changes occur quietly, almost invisibly. This can make the subconscious feel mysterious, but it is simply patient. It allows patterns to form slowly, without force. The subconscious is especially sensitive to repetition that is calm and predictable. Harsh or abrupt repetition can create tension, but gentle consistency creates ease. This is why slow routines can feel grounding. They give the subconscious something stable to recognize. Not all learning is equal in the subconscious. Experiences that carry emotional weight tend to leave deeper impressions. However, this does not mean intensity is required. Even soft emotions, when repeated over time, can shape internal responses. Calm experiences repeated gently can teach the subconscious that rest is safe. During rest, the subconscious continues to integrate what it has learned. It does not review or analyze. It simply organizes impressions into patterns that support balance. This integration does not require awareness. It happens whether the mind is focused or drifting. The conscious mind often wants to understand why something feels a certain way. The subconscious does not ask why. It responds to what has been repeated. This difference can sometimes feel confusing, but it is also what allows the mind to function efficiently. Not everything needs explanation. As awareness softens, the influence of subconscious learning becomes more apparent. Automatic responses guide breathing, posture, and emotional tone. The mind settles not because it has been told to, but because it recognizes familiar signals associated with rest. There is no need to interfere with this process. The subconscious learns best when left undisturbed. Effort is not required. Attention can drift freely. The patterns already established continue to operate quietly. Over time, the subconscious becomes a stable foundation beneath conscious thought. It carries learned responses that support daily functioning and nighttime rest. These responses are not fixed. They can change gradually as new patterns replace old ones, but always through repetition rather than force. During sleep and deep relaxation, the subconscious remains active in this gentle way. It does not pause its learning. It simply continues to respond to the environment and the body's state. The slower everything becomes, the more smoothly it operates. In this quiet state, learning does not feel like effort. It feels like settling. The subconscious adjusts softly, maintaining internal balance while awareness drifts. Nothing needs to be remembered. Nothing needs to be practiced. The process unfolds naturally, guided by familiarity and time. Memory does not live only in clear recollection. Much of what is remembered never rises to the surface of awareness. Beneath conscious thought, the subconscious holds impressions, sensations, and emotional traces that do not appear as stories or images, yet continue to shape experience quietly. The subconscious does not store memory in neat sequences. It does not arrange events by date or detail. Instead, it keeps memory in layers, connected through feeling, familiarity, and association. A scent can evoke a sense of comfort without recalling a specific moment. A sound can bring ease without explanation. These responses come from memory held beneath awareness. Throughout the day, countless experiences pass through the mind. Most are not remembered consciously, yet the subconscious registers them. It notes tone, rhythm, and emotional color. It remembers how certain moments felt, even when the details fade. This kind of memory supports continuity without requiring effort. When the body begins to rest, the subconscious shifts into a quieter organizing mode. It does not replay the day like a film. It does not judge or analyze. Instead, it allows impressions to settle. Some fade naturally. Others integrate gently into existing patterns. This settling helps the mind release the need to hold on to everything. Memory beneath awareness is not static. It is fluid and adaptive. Each new experience subtly reshapes what is already stored. The subconscious adjusts associations, softens emotional edges, and strengthens familiar pathways. This process happens slowly, without urgency. Conscious memory often seeks clarity and order. The subconscious seeks balance. It does not need to recall every detail to function. It only needs enough continuity to support stability. This is why many memories influence behavior without ever being consciously remembered. During rest, the boundary between present sensation and stored memory becomes less distinct. Feelings may arise without a clear source. A sense of calm may appear without explanation. These experiences are not messages to decode. They are the natural result of memory integrating quietly beneath awareness. The subconscious also helps regulate emotional tone through memory. Past experiences that felt safe or soothing can soften the present moment. Familiar routines and environments draw on stored memory to signal comfort. This happens automatically, without instruction. Not all memory needs to be preserved. The subconscious allows unnecessary details to dissolve. This quiet forgetting is as important as remembering. It clears space, preventing the mind from becoming crowded. Forgetting beneath awareness supports rest by reducing mental weight. As the mind settles, conscious attention becomes less involved in managing memory. Thoughts lose their urgency. The need to review or replay fades. The subconscious continues to hold what matters without asking awareness to participate. Memory beneath awareness also supports physical rhythms. The body remembers patterns of breathing, movement, and rest. These patterns are stored without words. They guide automatic responses that help the body settle into sleep. There is no clear boundary where memory ends and sensation begins. The subconscious blends them together. This blending allows experiences to feel continuous rather than fragmented. It creates a sense of internal coherence that does not rely on conscious recall. During deep relaxation, memory integration becomes especially gentle. The subconscious is not active in a busy sense. It is steady and quiet, allowing connections to form without disturbance. Nothing needs to be recalled correctly. Nothing needs to be resolved. The conscious mind often seeks meaning in memory. The subconscious seeks harmony. It does not label experiences as important or unimportant. It simply adjusts internal patterns based on what has been felt repeatedly. As awareness drifts, the influence of memory beneath awareness becomes supportive rather than distracting. Familiar sensations guide the mind toward ease. Emotional tones soften. The body responds by relaxing further. This process does not require trust or effort. It unfolds naturally each time the mind rests. The subconscious has practiced this rhythm many times. It knows how to hold memory without burden. In this state, the mind is free from the need to remember actively. Memory rests where it belongs, beneath awareness, quiet and stable. The subconscious continues its gentle work, allowing the present moment to feel lighter as the night deepens. Emotions do not always arrive as clear thoughts or recognizable feelings. Much of their movement happens quietly, beneath awareness, guided by the subconscious. This deeper layer of the mind plays a steady role in maintaining emotional balance, not by controlling emotions, but by softening, adjusting, and regulating them over time. The conscious mind often notices emotions only when they become strong or demanding. It tries to name them, understand them, or resolve them. The subconscious works differently. It responds to emotional tone rather than labels. It senses shifts in comfort, tension, or safety, and adjusts the internal environment accordingly. Throughout the day, emotions pass through the mind in subtle ways. Many are mild and fleeting. A brief sense of ease, a moment of irritation, a quiet satisfaction. Most of these never become full thoughts, yet the subconscious registers them. It notices patterns, not moments. Over time, these patterns influence emotional balance without drawing attention. As the body begins to rest, emotional activity often becomes quieter. This does not mean emotions disappear. Instead, they lose urgency. The subconscious allows emotional charge to soften, releasing what no longer needs to be held. This gentle release helps prevent emotions from accumulating and overwhelming the mind. The subconscious does not judge emotions as good or bad. It does not try to suppress them. It allows them to pass, integrating their tone into a broader sense of balance. This is why rest can feel emotionally calming even without addressing specific concerns. The subconscious is working quietly to restore equilibrium. Emotional balance is closely linked to physical rhythms. Breathing, heart rate, and muscle tone all influence emotional state. The subconscious connects these systems without effort. As breathing slows and muscles release, emotional tension often eases naturally. The mind does not need to intervene. Past emotional experiences also influence present balance. The subconscious carries emotional memory, not as stories, but as associations. Familiar environments, sounds, or routines can signal safety and comfort because of previous experiences stored beneath awareness. These signals help stabilize emotional tone during rest. During quiet moments, emotions may surface briefly without explanation. A sense of warmth, a subtle heaviness, or a feeling of release. These experiences are not problems to solve. They are part of the subconscious adjusting emotional balance gently, allowing sensations to move through without resistance. The subconscious is especially effective at regulating emotions when the mind is not actively monitoring them. Effort can sometimes interfere with this process. Letting attention drift allows emotional systems to settle on their own. Balance returns not through control, but through allowance. Over time, emotional balance becomes a familiar state. The subconscious recognizes calm as a pattern and supports it automatically. This does not mean emotions are eliminated. It means they are held lightly, without dominating awareness. During rest and sleep, the subconscious continues this quiet regulation. Emotional tone is smoothed, intensity is reduced, and internal signals are recalibrated. This happens gradually, without clear boundaries or stages. The conscious mind may wake feeling lighter without knowing why. Emotional weight has been redistributed beneath awareness. Nothing dramatic has occurred. The subconscious has simply done its steady work. There is no need to direct emotional balance. The subconscious has managed it through countless cycles of rest and wakefulness. It responds to gentleness, familiarity, and safety. Creating a calm environment allows it to function naturally. As the night deepens, emotional activity continues to soften. Thoughts become less emotionally charged. Sensations feel more neutral. The mind does not cling to reactions. Balance emerges quietly. This balance is not fragile. It is resilient, supported by layers of experience and repetition. The subconscious maintains it without effort, allowing the mind to rest without emotional strain. In this state, emotions are no longer foregrounded. They settle into the background, held gently by processes that do not require attention. The subconscious continues to guide emotional balance as the body relaxes further, carrying the mind toward deeper rest. As the body settles into rest, the subconscious does not slow down in the way the conscious mind does. Instead, it continues its activity quietly, shifting focus from external demands to internal maintenance. This nighttime activity is gentle, steady, and largely unnoticed. Yet it plays an important role in supporting balance and restoration. When wakefulness fades, conscious attention becomes less involved in directing thought. Planning, evaluating, and decision-making soften naturally. In this quieter state, the subconscious takes on a more prominent role, not by becoming louder, but by operating without interference. It continues to coordinate processes that do not require awareness. One of the primary roles of the subconscious at night is integration. Experiences from the day, both physical and emotional, are allowed to settle into existing patterns. This does not happen through replay or analysis. Instead, impressions are absorbed slowly, finding their place without effort. Some impressions fade. Others blend gently into what is already familiar. The subconscious also supports the body's internal rhythms during rest. Breathing patterns become more regular. Heart rate slows and stabilizes. Muscle tone decreases gradually. These changes are not consciously directed. They are guided by systems that respond automatically to reduced stimulation and increased stillness. At night, The subconscious helps maintain a sense of internal continuity. Even as awareness drifts and thoughts lose clarity, underlying processes remain organized. The mind does not fragment or dissolve. It simply shifts into a different mode, one that requires less active attention. This activity is not goal-oriented. The subconscious does not try to accomplish tasks or reach conclusions. It maintains equilibrium. It ensures that internal systems remain coordinated while the conscious mind rests. This coordination is subtle and constant. Emotional tone is also gently adjusted during nighttime subconscious activity. Emotional intensity tends to soften. Reactions lose their sharpness. This does not mean emotions disappear. They become quieter, less demanding. The subconscious allows emotional energy to redistribute evenly, reducing internal strain. During this time, thoughts may still appear, but they are less structured. They drift without direction and dissolve without resolution. This drifting is not random. It reflects a state where the subconscious is supporting rest by reducing the need for focus and control. The subconscious is especially sensitive to the environment during rest. Dim light, reduced noise, and familiar surroundings signal safety. These signals reinforce the body's shift toward relaxation. The subconscious responds by deepening calm and maintaining stability. Nighttime activity also supports physical recovery. Without drawing attention, the subconscious coordinates processes related to rest and repair. The body is guided into states that allow restoration to occur naturally. This happens without instruction or awareness. Memory integration continues quietly during this period. The subconscious does not sort memories by importance. It allows associations to form gently, strengthening familiar pathways and softening those that are no longer needed. This contributes to the sense of mental clarity often felt after rest, even without recalling specific thoughts. The conscious mind may interpret nighttime mental activity as silence, but beneath that silence there is steady regulation. The subconscious does not stop working. It simply works in a way that does not require attention. As rest deepens, the boundary between sensation and thought becomes less distinct. Awareness may hover lightly or fade altogether. Throughout this process, the subconscious maintains internal coherence. There is no moment where control is lost. The system remains balanced. This balance is achieved not through effort, but through repetition. The subconscious has followed this nighttime rhythm many times before. It recognizes the cues of rest and responds automatically. Each night reinforces this pattern, making the transition smoother over time. The subconscious does not resist wakefulness, nor does it force sleep. It supports conditions where rest can occur naturally. It allows the mind to release its hold on alertness without pressure. In the quiet hours, the subconscious continues its gentle activity, holding together emotional tone, physical rhythm, and mental continuity. Nothing dramatic takes place. There are no sudden shifts. The process is gradual and calm. As the night progresses, this steady activity supports deeper relaxation. Awareness drifts further. The body settles more completely. The subconscious remains present, quietly maintaining balance while the mind rests. This nighttime work does not require recognition. It unfolds the same way each time, reliable and unobtrusive. The subconscious continues to guide the system gently, allowing rest to deepen without interruption as the night moves on. Much of daily life unfolds without deliberate thought. Movements, routines, and responses often occur automatically, guided by the subconscious rather than conscious decision-making. These habits are not signs of inattention. They are the result of the subconscious learning how to carry out familiar actions efficiently and gently, without requiring awareness. The subconscious is especially skilled at managing repetition. When an action is performed many times in similar conditions, it gradually shifts out of conscious control. The mind no longer needs to think through each step. The behavior becomes smooth, predictable, and quiet. This allows conscious attention to rest or move elsewhere. Habits form slowly. They are not created through single moments, but through consistent repetition over time. The subconscious notices patterns rather than intentions. It does not respond to goals or plans. It responds to what happens again and again. When a behavior repeats calmly, the subconscious absorbs it naturally. This process is deeply connected to energy conservation. The mind prefers efficiency. By allowing repeated actions to become automatic, the subconscious reduces the effort required to function. This makes daily life feel smoother and less demanding. It also supports rest, as fewer resources are spent on constant decision-making. Automatic behavior is not rigid. The subconscious remains flexible, adjusting habits gently as conditions change. If an environment shifts or a routine is altered, the subconscious adapts over time. There is no abrupt change. Old patterns soften as new ones are repeated. At night, habits become especially noticeable. Familiar bedtime routines can signal the subconscious that rest is approaching. The same sequence of actions, repeated gently over time, becomes associated with slowing down. The body and mind begin to respond before awareness intervenes. These responses are subtle. Breathing may slow slightly. Muscles may release earlier. Thoughts may lose urgency more quickly. The subconscious recognizes the pattern and adjusts internal rhythms accordingly. This happens without effort or instruction. Not all habits are physical. Many are emotional or mental. The way the mind responds to quiet, darkness, or stillness is also shaped by repetition. If rest has been experienced regularly in a calm environment, the subconscious learns to associate these conditions with safety and ease. During rest, automatic behavior supports stability. The subconscious maintains posture, breathing rhythm, and small adjustments in the body without awareness. These micro-movements help maintain comfort and prevent disruption. They are part of the body's quiet intelligence. The conscious mind often wants to evaluate habits, deciding which are helpful or unhelpful. The subconscious does not judge. It continues to operate based on what has been repeated. Change occurs not through force, but through gentle replacement over time. As awareness drifts, automatic processes take over more fully. This is not a loss of control. It is a redistribution of responsibility. The subconscious handles familiar functions, while conscious attention rests. This allows the mind to feel lighter. Habits also influence emotional tone. Repeated calm experiences can train the subconscious to respond to certain cues with relaxation. This is why familiar sounds, routines, or environments can feel soothing without explanation. The The subconscious recognizes them and responds automatically. During the night, these automatic responses help maintain a stable internal environment. Even as awareness fades, the body remains regulated. Breathing continues rhythmically. Muscles remain supported. The subconscious ensures continuity. Automatic behavior does not require perfection. Habits do not need to be exact to function. The subconscious works with approximation, responding to general patterns rather than precise details. This makes it forgiving and adaptable. Over time, habits become part of the background of experience. They no longer demand attention. This frees the conscious mind from constant monitoring. Rest becomes easier when fewer processes require awareness. The subconscious does not rush this process. Habit formation and adjustment happen gradually. There is no pressure to change quickly. The system evolves gently, shaped by repetition and familiarity. As the night deepens, automatic behavior supports deeper relaxation. The mind no longer needs to direct the body. Familiar rhythms carry everything forward. The subconscious holds these patterns steadily, without interruption. In this state, effort fades. The mind is not actively doing anything. Automatic processes continue quietly, maintaining balance while awareness drifts further into rest. The subconscious remains present, guiding familiar behaviors smoothly through the quiet hours of the night. Imagination often feels like something deliberate, something created by conscious thought. But much of imagination arises quietly from the subconscious. It does not require effort or intention. It appears naturally, shaped by memory, emotion, and subtle association, unfolding without needing to be directed. The subconscious does not imagine in sharp images or clear narratives. It works softly, blending impressions and sensations. An idea may surface without a clear source. A feeling may take shape without words. These gentle forms of imagination are not meant to be examined. They exist simply as part of the mind's background activity. During waking hours, imagination is often guided by attention. The conscious mind selects images, constructs stories, or visualizes outcomes. At night, this guidance relaxes. Imagination becomes quieter and less structured. It drifts rather than focuses, supported by the subconscious rather than directed by awareness. This drifting imagination is closely tied to emotional tone. The subconscious shapes imagery according to what feels familiar or safe. Calm environments tend to produce softer, slower mental imagery. There is no urgency to create meaning. Images appear and fade naturally, like reflections on water. Imagination beneath awareness does not follow logic. It connects experiences through feeling rather than sequence. A sound may blend with a memory. A sensation may merge with an image. These connections do not need explanation. They are the subconscious exploring associations gently, without purpose or goal. As the body rests, imagination often becomes less visual and more atmospheric. Instead of clear pictures, there may be a sense of space, movement, or tone. This kind of imagination does not demand attention. It supports relaxation by keeping the mind lightly occupied without effort. The subconscious uses imagination as a way to ease transitions. As conscious thought releases control, imagination fills the space softly. It prevents abrupt silence, allowing awareness to drift smoothly rather than stopping suddenly. This gentle continuity helps the mind remain settled. Imagination during rest is not creative in the usual sense. It is not producing new ideas or solving problems. It is simply allowing mental activity to flow at a slower pace. The subconscious maintains movement without stimulation. This process is deeply familiar. Each night, imagination shifts into this quieter form naturally. There is no need to guide it or suppress it. Allowing it to unfold freely helps the mind relax further. Imagination also responds to rhythm. Slow, steady sounds or repeated patterns can shape the mind's internal imagery without conscious effort. The subconscious recognizes rhythm and adjusts imagination accordingly, keeping it soft and non-intrusive. Sometimes imagination fades entirely, leaving only a sense of presence. Other times it returns briefly, offering fragments of thought or feeling. Both states are natural. The subconscious moves between them without disturbance. There is no requirement to follow imaginative content. The conscious mind does not need to engage. Observing or ignoring makes little difference. The subconscious continues its gentle activity regardless of attention. Imagination beneath awareness also supports emotional balance. It allows feelings to express themselves softly without forming narratives. This can ease emotional tension without bringing it to the surface. The mind feels lighter, not because emotions are gone, but because they are not demanding focus. As rest deepens, imagination becomes more diffuse. Boundaries blur, images lose definition. The subconscious allows this softening to continue, guiding the mind away from structure and toward ease. This state is not empty. It is quietly active. The subconscious maintains a gentle flow of mental activity that prevents rest from feeling abrupt or unsettling. Imagination acts as a bridge between awareness and deeper relaxation. Nothing needs to be held in place. Imagination does not need to be controlled or understood. It arises and dissolves on its own. The subconscious handles this process without effort. Over time, the mind learns that this gentle imaginative drifting is safe. Familiarity strengthens the association between rest and ease. Each night reinforces the pattern, making it easier to return. As the night continues, imagination fades further into the background. Awareness loosens. The mind no longer clings to images or sensations. The subconscious remains steady, supporting this quiet transition. In this softened state, imagination no longer feels like activity. It becomes part of stillness itself. The subconscious holds the mind gently, allowing rest to deepen without interruption as the night moves forward. The body is constantly communicating with itself, sending and receiving signals that rarely reach awareness. These signals guide posture, breathing, balance, and countless small adjustments that keep everything functioning smoothly. The subconscious mind plays a central role in this quiet communication, coordinating the body's responses without requiring attention or effort. Most bodily signals are subtle. They do not announce themselves as thoughts or sensations. Instead, they appear as gentle shifts, a change in breathing depth, a small release of tension, a slight adjustment in position. These movements happen automatically, guided by systems that have learned how to maintain comfort over time. The subconscious monitors the body continuously. It notices pressure, temperature, rhythm, and internal balance. When something needs adjustment, it responds quietly. Muscles release or engage just enough to maintain support. Breathing adapts to the body's needs. The conscious mind does not need to intervene. During the day, these signals operate alongside active awareness. At night, as attention softens, they become more noticeable through their absence of disturbance. The body feels steadier, not because signals have stopped, but because they are being handled efficiently beneath awareness. Breathing is one of the clearest examples of subconscious guidance. While the conscious mind can influence breathing, most of the time it is regulated automatically. The subconscious adjusts rhythm and depth based on the body's state. As rest approaches, breathing naturally slows and becomes more regular without instruction. This automatic adjustment supports relaxation. Slower breathing signals safety to the nervous system. Muscles receive cues to release tension. The body begins to settle into a more comfortable state. None of this requires conscious effort. The subconscious coordinates these changes quietly. Posture is another area guided by subconscious signals. Even while resting, the body makes small adjustments to maintain comfort. A shoulder shifts slightly. The head finds a more supported position. These movements happen without awareness, preventing discomfort from building. The subconscious also responds to internal signals such as hunger, fullness, or temperature. At night, when external demands are reduced, these signals are processed gently. The body maintains balance without urgency, allowing rest to deepen. Emotional states influence bodily signals as well. The subconscious links emotional tone with physical responses. Calm emotional states tend to produce softer muscle tone and steadier breathing. As emotional balance improves during rest, bodily signals follow, reinforcing relaxation. The conscious mind often tries to control bodily sensations, especially when discomfort is noticed. The subconscious does not approach the body this way. It responds gradually, making small changes over time. This gentle approach prevents sudden shifts that could disturb rest. At night, the body's signaling systems become more predictable. Familiar routines and environments reduce the need for adjustment. The subconscious recognizes these conditions and maintains stability. The body feels supported without effort. Pain and discomfort are also processed differently during rest. The subconscious monitors these sensations, adjusting posture or muscle engagement to reduce strain. While discomfort may still be present, it often feels less intrusive as the subconscious manages it quietly. The body's internal rhythms are closely tied to subconscious guidance. Heart rate, digestion, and circulation continue steadily without awareness. These systems respond to the overall state of relaxation, adjusting subtly as the night progresses. The subconscious does not prioritize speed. It values continuity. Changes occur slowly, allowing the body to remain stable. This is why rest feels gradual rather than sudden. The body eases into stillness rather than stopping abruptly. As awareness drifts, the conscious mind becomes less involved in bodily monitoring. There is no need to check or adjust. The subconscious has handled these processes countless times before. It knows how to maintain comfort without instruction. This trust in automatic signaling allows the mind to rest more deeply. When the conscious mind steps back, the body's natural intelligence takes over. The subconscious coordinates countless small actions, each contributing to overall ease. Over time, the body learns that rest is safe. Repeated experiences of calm reinforce the association between stillness and comfort. The subconscious strengthens this pattern, making future transitions into rest smoother. During deep relaxation, bodily signals fade into the background. Sensations soften. Movements become minimal. The subconscious maintains equilibrium without drawing attention. The body feels present yet quiet. Nothing needs to be held in place. The body does not require supervision. The subconscious continues to guide signals gently, maintaining balance while awareness loosens its hold. As the night continues, this quiet guidance remains steady. Breathing flows naturally. Muscles stay supported. The body rests within a stable internal rhythm. The subconscious holds everything together softly, allowing rest to deepen without interruption. A deep sense of safety is one of the quiet foundations of rest. It is not something the conscious mind creates through reasoning or reassurance. Instead, it is felt subtly and continuously through signals managed by the subconscious. This sense of safety does not announce itself. It is noticed mostly when it is absent. When it is present, the body and mind simply soften. The subconscious is constantly scanning for familiarity. It notices patterns in the environment, in sound, light, temperature, and rhythm. These patterns help it decide whether it is safe to relax. This process happens without words or thought. The subconscious does not ask questions. It responds to what it recognizes. During the day, this scanning happens quietly alongside alertness. At night, when stimulation decreases, the role of safety becomes more central. The subconscious responds to stillness and predictability by lowering internal defenses. Muscles release tension. Breathing becomes slower. The body begins to settle into rest. Safety, in this sense, does not mean the absence of all discomfort. It means the absence of urgency. The subconscious is not seeking perfection. It is simply determining whether it is necessary to stay alert. When familiar cues are present, it allows vigilance to fade. Familiar environments play a powerful role in this process. Repeated exposure to the same nighttime conditions teaches the subconscious what to expect. A familiar room, a consistent routine, or a steady background sound can all signal that nothing requires immediate attention. Over time, these cues become deeply embedded. The subconscious also associates safety with rhythm. Slow, predictable rhythms are calming. Regular breathing, steady ambient sounds, and gentle repetition all reinforce the sense that the environment is stable. The subconscious responds by maintaining a calm internal state. Emotional safety is woven into this process as well. The subconscious links emotional tone with physical cues. When emotions are softer, bodily signals reflect that softness. The body relaxes not because it has been told to, but because the subconscious senses no need for tension. The conscious mind may try to create safety through thought, reminding itself that everything is fine. While this can help, it is not the primary mechanism. The subconscious relies more on experience than explanation. It trusts what has been repeated gently over time. At night, this trust becomes especially important. The subconscious recognizes the transition into darkness and stillness as familiar. It has navigated this transition countless times. Each successful night of rest strengthens the association between nighttime and safety. The sense of safety also allows the mind to release control. When the subconscious feels secure, it no longer signals the need to monitor or evaluate. Thoughts lose their urgency. Awareness drifts without concern. This release is not forced. It happens naturally when safety is established. Even small disruptions can briefly affect this process. An unfamiliar sound or sudden change may draw attention. But the subconscious adjusts quickly, reassessing and restoring balance once familiarity returns. Its goal is stability, not constant alertness. The body's position contributes to this sense as well. Supported posture, gentle pressure, and stillness all send signals of safety. The subconscious interprets these cues and responds by maintaining calm. This is why comfort often feels immediate rather than intellectual. Safety is not static. It is continuously maintained through subtle adjustments. The subconscious monitors changes and responds softly, preventing the need for conscious intervention. This ongoing regulation allows rest to deepen without interruption. As awareness fades, the sense of safety remains. It does not require attention to persist. The subconscious holds it steadily, allowing the mind to drift further into rest. There is no moment where safety needs to be reaffirmed. It is simply present. Over time, the repeated experience of safe rest shapes the subconscious deeply. It learns that letting go is reliable. This learning reduces resistance, making future rest easier and smoother. The body responds more quickly to nighttime cues. During deeper relaxation, the sense of safety becomes almost invisible. It is felt as ease rather than recognized as a concept. The mind does not think about being safe. It simply rests within that state. The subconscious does not distinguish between physical and emotional safety in the way the conscious mind does. It responds to the overall atmosphere. When that atmosphere is calm and familiar, it allows defenses to lower. As the night continues, this quiet assurance remains. The subconscious holds the environment as stable and non-threatening. The body settles more completely. Awareness loosens further. In this state, rest is not something achieved. It is something allowed. The subconscious maintains the sense of safety gently, without effort, supporting the mind and body as they move deeper into stillness. Control is often associated with effort. During the day, the conscious mind manages attention, decisions, and responses, maintaining a sense of direction and order. At night, this effort gradually softens. Letting go of control does not happen suddenly. It unfolds gently, guided by the subconscious as the need for active management fades. The subconscious understands when control is no longer required. It responds to cues of rest by reducing the signals that keep the mind alert. Thoughts become less insistent. The urge to organize or evaluate weakens. This shift is not a loss of stability. It is a redistribution of responsibility from conscious effort to automatic balance. Letting go does not mean the mind becomes empty. Activity continues, but it is quieter and less directed. The subconscious allows thoughts to drift without needing to follow them. Awareness may still be present, but it no longer feels responsible for guiding every moment. The conscious mind often resists letting go because it associates control with safety. Yet the subconscious recognizes that rest itself is a form of safety. When familiar conditions are present, it signals that vigilance can soften. This signal is felt as ease rather than understood as an instruction. As control loosens, physical tension often releases alongside mental effort. Muscles relax without being told. Breathing becomes slower and more regular. These physical changes reinforce the mental shift, creating a feedback loop that supports deeper relaxation. The subconscious does not force this process. It does not push awareness away. It simply removes the need to hold things together actively. The mind begins to trust the underlying systems that have maintained balance countless times before. During this transition, moments of brief awareness may appear. A thought arises, then fades. A sensation is noticed, then dissolves. There is no need to engage. The subconscious supports this passing, preventing the mind from reattaching to control. Letting go of control also affects time perception. The sense of sequence and urgency diminishes. Moments blend together. The mind no longer tracks progress. This softening of time awareness reduces pressure and allows rest to deepen. The subconscious recognizes when the environment remains stable. In response, it lowers internal monitoring. The mind no longer checks for change. This absence of monitoring feels like spaciousness rather than emptiness. The conscious mind may occasionally attempt to reassert control, especially if a thought feels unresolved. When this happens, the subconscious does not react with tension. It waits patiently. As long as conditions remain calm, it gently guides the system back toward ease. Letting go does not require intention. Trying to release control can paradoxically maintain it. The subconscious works best when effort stops. Allowing the process to unfold naturally supports rest more effectively than directing it. Over time, the mind learns that letting go is safe. Repeated experiences of rest reinforce this learning. The subconscious stores this pattern, making future transitions smoother. Control becomes easier to release because it is no longer associated with risk. The body plays a key role in this learning. Each time muscles relax and breathing slows without consequence, the subconscious strengthens the association between release and comfort. This association does not rely on thought. It is felt and remembered quietly. As awareness drifts further, control becomes less relevant. The mind no longer seeks to hold on to structure. Thoughts lose their edges. Sensations soften. The subconscious maintains continuity without requiring guidance. In this state, effort fades almost completely. There is no sense of doing or directing. The mind rests within a steady rhythm supported by automatic processes. The subconscious holds the system gently, ensuring balance without attention. Letting go of control does not lead to confusion or instability. It leads to simplicity. The mind is no longer occupied with managing itself. It is free to settle into stillness. As the night deepens, this release continues. Awareness may come and go. Control does not return with urgency. The subconscious remains present, quietly guiding the transition toward deeper rest. Nothing needs to be achieved. Nothing needs to be held. The subconscious understands this state well. It has guided it many times before. Letting go becomes natural, effortless, and familiar. In this quiet space, control fades into the background. The mind rests without resistance. The subconscious maintains calm and continuity, allowing the night to carry everything forward gently. Change often feels like something deliberate, something that must be planned, decided, and maintained through effort. Yet many of the most lasting changes in a person's life do not happen this way. They unfold slowly, beneath awareness, guided by the subconscious over long periods of time. This kind of change is quiet, gradual, and deeply stable. The subconscious does not respond to sudden intentions. It responds to repetition. It notices what happens again and again, especially when those experiences carry a consistent emotional tone. Over time, repeated experiences shape internal patterns, gently adjusting behavior, perception, and emotional response without drawing attention. Long-term change in the subconscious is not dramatic. There are no clear moments where something suddenly becomes different. Instead, small adjustments accumulate. Familiar reactions soften. Automatic responses shift slightly. The mind adapts without announcing that anything has changed. This process happens continuously. Every repeated experience leaves a subtle trace. The subconscious absorbs these traces and integrates them into existing patterns. When experiences are calm and consistent, they slowly reinforce a sense of ease. When they are irregular or tense, they shape different responses. The subconscious does not judge these inputs. It simply records and adapts. Because this change happens beneath awareness, it often goes unnoticed. The conscious mind may wake one day feeling different without knowing why. A reaction that once felt automatic no longer appears. A familiar sense of tension has faded slightly. These shifts are the result of long-term subconscious adjustment rather than conscious effort. The subconscious favors stability. It does not seek rapid transformation. Sudden changes can feel disruptive, so it adjusts gradually, allowing the system to remain balanced. This is why lasting change often feels slow but dependable. Once established, it tends to remain steady. During rest and sleep, the subconscious continues this quiet adaptation. Without the interference of active thought, patterns are reinforced or softened naturally. The mind does not need to review goals or intentions. The subconscious works with what has already been repeated. Emotional patterns are especially influenced by this process. Over time, repeated calm experiences can reduce emotional reactivity. Familiar states of relaxation become easier to return to. The subconscious learns that certain conditions are safe and supportive, and it responds accordingly. Long-term change also affects physical responses. Breathing patterns, muscle tone, and posture adjust gradually as the subconscious integrates new rhythms. These changes are subtle, but they contribute to a general sense of ease that becomes familiar. The conscious mind often becomes impatient with slow change. It looks for signs of progress or completion. The subconscious does not measure time this way. It operates on continuity rather than milestones. As long as repetition continues, adaptation follows. This is why forcing change can feel exhausting. Effort does not accelerate subconscious learning. Gentle consistency is far more effective. The subconscious responds best when experiences are repeated without pressure or urgency. At night, this process becomes more evident through its absence of effort. There is no attempt to improve or correct anything. The subconscious simply continues adjusting quietly. Rest allows these adjustments to occur without distraction. Long-term change guided by the subconscious is resilient. Because it is built through repetition rather than decision, it does not rely on motivation. It remains even when attention shifts elsewhere. This stability is one of the subconscious mind's greatest strengths. As the mind rests, awareness does not need to monitor progress. There is nothing to evaluate. The subconscious has already taken note of what matters. It continues shaping responses gently, maintaining balance over time. This kind of change does not announce completion. It blends into experience until it feels natural. The mind adapts so smoothly that the previous state becomes difficult to remember. The subconscious prefers this quiet integration over noticeable transformation. Repeated nights of rest reinforce this process. Each calm transition into sleep strengthens familiar patterns. Over time, the subconscious associates rest with safety and ease more deeply. This association supports further relaxation without effort. There is no final point where change is finished. The subconscious remains adaptive throughout life. It continues responding to repetition, adjusting gently as conditions evolve. This flexibility allows stability without rigidity. In the quiet hours of the night, long-term change continues without instruction. The subconscious works steadily, shaping the mind through familiarity and time. Nothing needs to be directed. Nothing needs to be corrected. As awareness drifts, these slow changes continue beneath the surface. The mind rests within patterns that have been shaped gently over countless moments. The subconscious holds these patterns quietly, allowing rest to deepen as the night moves on. Rest is often understood as the absence of activity, a pause from effort and movement. Yet beneath this stillness, the subconscious remains quietly engaged in processes that support repair and integration. These processes are not active in a busy or stimulating way. They unfold gently, maintaining balance while the body and mind remain at ease. The subconscious does not separate rest from activity. For it, rest is simply a different mode of operation. External demands fade, and internal systems take priority. Attention is no longer required to guide these systems. They continue smoothly on their own, guided by patterns that have developed over time. One of the subconscious's roles during rest is integration. Experiences from waking life do not need to be reviewed consciously in order to be incorporated. The subconscious allows sensations, emotions, and impressions to settle naturally. This settling does not involve effort or evaluation. It is a quiet blending of experience into the existing internal landscape. Repair happens alongside this integration. The subconscious coordinates restorative processes without drawing attention to them. The body shifts into rhythms that support recovery. Muscles release more fully. Breathing remains slow and steady. Internal systems operate in a way that favors restoration rather than action. This repair is not dramatic. There are no sudden sensations or noticeable changes. Instead, the effects are cumulative. Over time, repeated rest allows small adjustments to add up. The mind feels clearer, the body feels more supported. These outcomes emerge without awareness of the work being done. The subconscious does not rush this process. It values continuity over speed. Repair unfolds at a pace that keeps the system stable. Nothing is forced. Everything moves gradually, reducing the likelihood of disruption. Integration also applies to emotional experience. Feelings that were present during the day are allowed to soften and redistribute. The subconscious does not analyze emotions or attempt to resolve them consciously. It simply adjusts their intensity, preventing emotional buildup. As emotional tone evens out, the mind feels lighter. There is less need to hold on to reactions or narratives. The subconscious ensures that emotional energy is balanced, allowing awareness to drift without disturbance. Physical repair is closely linked to stillness. When the body remains supported and unmoving, internal systems can focus on maintenance. The subconscious responds to this stillness by sustaining a calm internal environment. It reduces unnecessary activity, allowing restorative processes to continue. Integration also affects memory and learning. The subconscious does not revisit information deliberately. It allows connections to form quietly, strengthening familiar pathways and softening others. This process supports continuity without requiring conscious recall. During deep rest, awareness may come and go. Sometimes there is a faint sense of presence. Other times, there is nothing noticeable at all. Throughout these fluctuations, the subconscious remains steady. It does not depend on awareness to function. The conscious mind may interpret this state as emptiness, but it is not empty. It is simply quiet. Beneath the surface, systems are aligned and maintained. The absence of noticeable activity is a sign that the subconscious is handling things efficiently. Integration is not something that can be hurried. Trying to accelerate rest or repair often reintroduces effort. The subconscious works best when effort stops. Allowing the process to unfold naturally supports deeper restoration. Each night of rest reinforces these patterns. The subconscious recognizes familiar conditions and responds more readily. Over time, the transition into this restorative mode becomes smoother. The body and mind learn that stillness is safe and supportive. Repair and integration do not end abruptly. They continue as long as rest persists. There is no clear boundary where one phase stops and another begins. The subconscious maintains a steady rhythm, adjusting gently as conditions change. As the night progresses, these processes deepen. The body settles further. Awareness loosens its hold. The subconscious continues to coordinate repair quietly, without interruption. Nothing needs to be remembered or achieved. The subconscious does not require attention or guidance. It follows patterns that have been reinforced through repetition and familiarity. In this state, rest is not passive. It is quietly productive, though its effects are subtle. The mind and body are supported in ways that are not felt moment to moment, but are noticed later as ease and clarity. As awareness drifts further, integration continues beneath the surface. Repair remains steady. The subconscious holds everything together gently, allowing rest to deepen without effort as the night moves toward stillness. Morning often arrives quietly, without any clear sense of what has happened during the night. The mind opens its awareness again, and the body begins to move. Yet there is rarely a feeling of transition. This is because much of the work that supports rest and renewal happens beneath awareness, guided by the subconscious without ever asking to be noticed. The subconscious does not announce its activity. It does not provide summaries or signals of completion. When wakefulness returns, the conscious mind simply resumes its role, often unaware that anything has changed. Yet subtle differences may be present. The body feels steadier. The mind feels lighter. Emotional tone may be softer. These changes are the quiet result of processes that continued throughout rest. Waking is not a sudden shift from inactivity to activity. It is a gradual rebalancing. The subconscious adjusts internal rhythms slowly as external cues return. Light increases. Sound becomes more noticeable. Movement resumes. The subconscious responds by gently increasing alertness without urgency. During this transition, the conscious mind may begin to form thoughts again, but they often feel less heavy than before rest. There is no clear memory of letting go, yet the effects remain. This is because the subconscious does not store its work as experiences to be recalled. It stores outcomes rather than events. The body also reflects this quiet continuity. Breathing remains steady. Muscles move without resistance. The sense of coordination returns smoothly. The subconscious has maintained physical balance throughout the night, allowing movement to resume without disruption. There is often a feeling of familiarity upon waking, even though hours have passed. This familiarity comes from internal continuity. The subconscious has held patterns steady, preventing fragmentation. The mind feels like itself again, without needing to reconstruct identity or intention. Emotional tone upon waking is often influenced by subconscious activity during rest. Reactions may feel less intense. Concerns may seem more distant. This does not mean problems have disappeared. It means emotional balance has been gently recalibrated beneath awareness. The conscious mind may try to interpret these changes, but there is rarely enough information to do so. The subconscious does not provide explanations. It simply adjusts internal states. Understanding is not required for these adjustments to be effective. Memory of the night is usually incomplete. Moments of awareness may be recalled, but long stretches are absent. This absence is not a gap. It is a sign that the subconscious managed continuity without involving conscious thought. Nothing needed to be remembered. The return to wakefulness often feels effortless. The body responds to gravity and movement naturally. The mind begins to engage with the environment without resistance. This ease reflects the subconscious's ability to maintain readiness while still allowing deep rest. There is no sense of completion or accomplishment associated with waking. The subconscious does not frame its work this way. It does not finish tasks. It maintains balance continuously. Waking is simply another shift in conditions to which it responds. Over time, repeated cycles of rest and waking reinforce this smooth transition. The subconscious learns that letting go and returning to awareness are both safe. This learning reduces resistance in both directions. Falling asleep becomes easier, and waking becomes gentler. The conscious mind often seeks clarity about how rest works, but the subconscious does not operate on understanding. It operates on rhythm and repetition. As long as familiar patterns are present, it responds appropriately. Upon waking, attention gradually expands. The mind becomes more focused. The body becomes more active. Throughout this process, the subconscious adjusts without interruption. There is no moment where it stops, and hands control back. It simply shifts its role. This seamless handover is why waking rarely feels abrupt. Even when an alarm interrupts rest, the subconscious adjusts quickly. It stabilizes internal systems, allowing the mind to orient itself without confusion. The effects of subconscious nighttime activity often reveal themselves later rather than immediately. A sense of patience, a calmer reaction, a clearer focus. These are not consciously attributed to rest, yet they are shaped by it. The subconscious does not seek recognition for this work. It remains in the background, continuing to guide responses as the day begins. Awareness may move forward without looking back, yet the foundation has been quietly renewed. As the morning continues, the subconscious remains active, supporting the transition into movement and engagement. It carries forward the balance established during rest, allowing the mind to function without strain. There is no need to reflect on the night in order to benefit from it. The subconscious has already integrated what was needed. Waking simply reveals the result, not the process. In this way, rest completes itself without closure. There is no final moment where the night ends internally. The subconscious flows smoothly from stillness into activity, maintaining continuity without effort. As awareness fully returns, the quiet work of the subconscious fades further into the background. Yet it does not disappear. It remains present, steady, and silent, ready to guide the next cycle of rest when the day eventually softens again. Even as awareness moves forward into activity, the subconscious never truly steps away. It does not begin or end with sleep. It remains present in the background, steady and unobtrusive, supporting the mind whether attention is focused or drifting. This continuity is what allows experience to feel whole rather than fragmented. The subconscious does not mark transitions with clear boundaries. It does not separate night from day in a strict sense. Instead, it adapts continuously, responding to changing conditions without interrupting internal balance. When rest deepens, it supports stillness. When awareness returns, it supports engagement. Its role shifts quietly, without announcement. Throughout life, this background presence provides stability. The conscious mind may move rapidly from thought to thought, from task to task. The subconscious maintains a slower rhythm beneath it all. This slower rhythm is not passive. It is what keeps internal systems aligned, preventing sudden imbalance. Remaining in the quiet background does not mean inactivity. The subconscious continues to monitor, adjust, and coordinate without drawing attention. It responds to tone rather than detail. It notices patterns rather than moments. This allows it to function efficiently without demanding awareness. As the mind becomes more active, the subconscious does not withdraw. It simply becomes less noticeable. The conscious mind takes the foreground, while deeper processes continue uninterrupted. This arrangement allows attention to move freely without destabilizing the system. The subconscious also carries familiarity forward. It maintains a sense of continuity that helps the mind feel grounded. Even when circumstances change, there is an underlying sense of sameness. This sameness does not come from thought. It comes from patterns held quietly beneath awareness. Over time, this background presence becomes deeply trusted, even if it is never consciously acknowledged. The mind learns that it doesn't need to manage everything actively. There is an underlying support that remains constant. This trust allows both rest and activity to occur more smoothly. Letting go becomes easier because the subconscious has demonstrated reliability. Returning to awareness becomes gentler because balance has been preserved. The subconscious does not compete with conscious thought. It complements it. When attention is required, it supports efficiency. When attention softens, it supports ease. This flexibility allows the mind to move through different states without strain. Remaining in the quiet background also means that nothing needs to be held rigidly. Experiences can pass without being fixed in place. Emotions can arise and settle without being analyzed. Thoughts can appear and fade without being followed. The subconscious maintains continuity regardless. This quality becomes especially noticeable during moments of calm awareness. When there is nothing urgent to address, the background presence feels like steadiness rather than activity. The mind rests within itself, supported without effort. The subconscious does not seek meaning or interpretation. It does not require reflection to function. Its role is not to explain experience, but to sustain it. This is why it can remain present without being noticed. As the cycle of rest completes, the subconscious continues seamlessly into the next phase of the day. It carries forward the balance established during stillness. The effects are subtle but persistent. A steadier emotional tone, smoother responses, reduced internal noise. These effects do not need to be attributed to any cause. The subconscious does not operate through cause and effect, as the conscious mind understands it. It operates through continuity and repetition. The result is stability rather than insight. Over a lifetime, this quiet background presence shapes experience more deeply than conscious thought alone ever could. It influences habits, emotional balance, and the ability to rest without effort. Yet it does so invisibly, without seeking recognition. Remaining in the quiet background is not a state to achieve. It is already happening. The subconscious has always been there, adapting quietly to each moment. Awareness may come and go, but the underlying rhythm remains. As the day unfolds, attention may become occupied with tasks and interactions. The subconscious continues to support these activities without interruption. It adjusts posture, regulates emotional tone, and maintains internal balance quietly. When the next opportunity for rest arrives, the subconscious will respond again. It will recognize familiar cues and guide the system gently toward stillness. Nothing needs to be remembered or prepared. The process will unfold naturally. In this way, the subconscious forms a continuous thread through all states of being. It does not belong only to sleep or rest. It belongs to the entire rhythm of life, supporting both motion and stillness without distinction. As this journey through the subconscious comes to a close, there is no ending to mark. The background presence continues as it always has, steady and silent. Awareness moves on, supported quietly beneath the surface. The mind does not need to hold on to these ideas. They can fade without consequence. The subconscious remains regardless, maintaining balance in its own time. And so, without conclusion or closure, the quiet background continues. The subconscious stays present, supporting the mind gently, allowing each moment to unfold with ease, whether in rest, awareness, or somewhere softly in between.